But anyways, let's jump into the first topic, guys, and we're going to be talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we have rumors coming out now after this bad losing streak the Cavs are on. LeBron yelling at the whole bench. Ty Lue just not being there. He's just pretty much a vacant dad at this point. You look
he's not a real coach. Let's be honest.
He's not a real coach. But you look at the Cavs right now, and at least the rumors swirling around. They've apparently made an offer for DeAndre Jordan. They've made an offer for George Hill of the Sacramento Kings, and Mark Stein is reporting that they also have interest in Lou Williams, and the deal has so far gotten snagged up, and this is per David Aldridge from TNT NBA TV as well, that the deal got snagged because the Clippers are asking for the Brooklyn pick. So a lot going on. But we're going to welcome in Jake, our Patreon. I'm glad to have him back. It's been a while, and we're going to have him on, I think, hopefully one more time in January as well. So, Jake, we're going to throw it to you first. Who do you think out of those three, or you can go dark horse as well, who do you think the Cavs need to at least bring in to look to be a team that could actually overcome the Warriors finally in the finals?
I don't know. First, I don't think any of them are going to make them overcome the Warriors. But I think George Hill is actually a really good player to get. He doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective on offense, which is a big thing when you play with LeBron and Isaiah Thomas. And he can hit outside shots. He's shooting in the mid-40s right now, so I think he'd be a really good addition. I think DeAndre Jordan would be nice, but if I'm the Cavs, I really want to hang on to that Brooklyn pick because I don't think LeBron's coming back, and you need something because every time LeBron leaves somewhere, they're just bare and bones. Mm-hmm. You need someone to keep yourself going. I think if they couldn't get DeAndre Jordan, I think Andrew Bogut's out there in free agency. I think he could be at least somewhat of a defensive help.
The Bogut experience 2.0.
I mean, how many minutes he got him down for? Is he going to make it?
Probably.
Yeah, I just mean like total because his lifespan in Cleveland was what?
Oh, yeah.
3
minutes and broke his leg.
Break his leg. Yeah, he doesn't break his leg this time.
Well, at least
yeah, I think George Hill is a necessity.
Yeah, looking at the George Hill contract, I mean, he hasn't been great so far in Sacramento. Really hasn't been a perfect fit, and it's been weird too. I thought it was a weird signing when they first brought George Hill into Sacramento because they just drafted De'Aaron Fox, and I understand wanting him to at least sit on the bench and get used to playing. You have George Hill who is great defensively, decent offensively, and it could be a good role model for him, but so far it really hasn't worked out. And you look at the contract of at least George Hill, it's going to be difficult because the first year of his contract's really rough, $20 million for a cap hit, but it gets decreasingly worse. It's a front-loaded contract for him, so that's a player that could even stick around past this year. And I don't know if George Hill is going to be a player that helps him overcome the Warriors. And then that really reckons the question of, do you need to make a trade if you're not going to be overcoming the Warriors? So, Dave and Ricky, do you feel like the Cavs are just going to make a trade to kind of put their best foot forward and say, we still have LeBron, we still have K-Love, we still have Isaiah Thomas who's getting used to this team. If we go out and get a George Hill who's good defensively or DeAndre Jordan who could be a rim protector for us, do you feel like that's at least putting your best foot forward instead of just staying back and just being very passive really?
Well, they're kind of in a catch-22 to where you can't fully say, well, we're not going to make a deal. We're just going to sit and ride this one out. Because then if you do that, LeBron's going to be like, well, fuck this team. I'm going somewhere else. But then it's like, on the other side, do we want to make a move, give up all these things, like the Brooklyn pick, and then LeBron leaves us? So Cleveland's kind of in a lose-lose situation no matter which way they go, in my mind. They can either piss off LeBron so he leaves, or give up too much and he leaves anyways. If it's me, the team that I'm looking to make a trade with is the Clippers because you can try to, and I'm not going to try to put the exact details in there, but you can try to get, in my mind, if you get Lou and DeAndre Jordan from them, those are two pieces that you can use because Lou's been a hot scoring guy this year. You add a big guy down low in DeAndre Jordan, and because Lou, contract year, he's done at the end of the year, possibly the same thing for DeAndre because he'll probably, I don't know if he'd opt into his player opt.
He'd most likely decline, yeah.
Then what they can do is say, well, LeBron, if you stay, you can recruit and you can bring in guys that you want to Cleveland and we'll sign whoever you want.
Dave, what are your thoughts?
In my mind, they only have one option in Cleveland, that is to move forward with trading the future away because it's not like they're going to have a better chance at a championship in the next 5 years. There's no reason for them to think that starting a rebuild with one less pick is going to make or break this team. Your best chance is to do everything you can now to win with LeBron, to continue to appease LeBron and build a team around him because he is still the best player in the NBA and he still gives you the best chance to win. It's not like if LeBron leaves and you're going to all right, we'll throw max money at IT and we'll come back with IT, K Love, and Tristan Thompson. No, get the fuck out of here. It's not worth their time. It's not worth the money. They need to go all in for LeBron this year and see if they can, this is their last best chance until next year. If he decides to come back, then they do the same thing next year. They need to continue doing this. I know it hurts them in the long run, but the NBA is so short-lived for these players in their prime windows because you never know when an injury will happen. You never know when things line up for other guys. So if you have the opportunity to compete for a championship for this Cleveland team, you need to make moves now.
Well, and Jake, I think Ryan Russillo, formerly of ESPN, I don't know if he's still with ESPN. I think he got canned or something. He's on a podcast now or something.
Yeah.
But he came out and tweeted saying that LeBron is fine if they move the Brooklyn pick, but it needs to be for a game changer. No, but he said it needs to be for a game changer. So just DeAndre would not be enough for him. Do you feel like adding DeAndre Jordan and Lou Williams would be enough to get over the Warriors, or at least make it a more competitive series than it was last year?
I don't. And I think the other thing is, who are they? They're going to give up what? Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith in the pick?
Yeah, that's most likely going to be. I mean, that works salary cap wise.
If I'm the Clippers, I'm talking to the Bucks and trying to get someone for them because Tristan Thompson is 2 years left in his deal, 17 and 18 million, and JR has 2 years left in his deal, 14 and 15 million. And if you're going to trade DeAndre Jordan, it's because you want to clear cap. And I think David Aldridge was reporting too that they're talking to Lou Will about an extension.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah. It's not even that they're willing to trade him easily, but I don't think they're beating the Warriors. I don't even think if they get all three of them, they're beating the Warriors.
But
I don't.
Here's from my point of view for the Clippers is if you don't do this move, where are you at? Because you now have your two best players are in their 30s or 29, or I think DeAndre would be 29 at that point.
I think he's 28 right now.
And Lou Will is 30. So
Blake Griffin's still on the team, Dave.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying the guys who actually are out there and playing. It's hard to say Blake because man takes half a year off every year, at least. But no, I mean this way you at least get a pick out of it. A pick that yes, Brooklyn with name coming back.
Who?
Point guard D'Angelo coming back. That pick could be less valuable. It could be, anywhere from 5 to 12. 5. That's probably my idea.
Could be number one with the lottery.
It probably won't be. That's the thing.
Well, he's saying that D'Angelo Russell's going to push them farther out and
so
lower the chances of winning the lottery.
Could devalue the pick, but it's still another pick in a very top-heavy draft class, very highly regarded. So I think that even if they do have to move those two pieces out, that'll be the start. I see them continue to ship things out because once you start for the Clippers, I think you keep going and continue to try to accumulate young talent and draft picks.
Well, I mean, that's the one thing with the Clippers, because we're mentioning them trading Lou and or DeAndre Jordan. If you sign Lou to a long-term deal, if you sign DeAndre Jordan to that long-term deal, do you feel like I can compete? Because let's be honest, the Cavs, they got to compete with the Warriors, but they got to get to the finals to compete with them. The Clippers have to play the Warriors possibly sooner. Clippers have to play the Warriors possibly sooner than the Cavs would ever, because they're in the same conference.
Two best conference teams go into the finals.
For a second, I thought I screwed it up and I said Cavs again because usually I say the wrong thing. I don't think that happens. So with Dave, I'm right on with Dave. Get that pick, even if it's anywhere in the top 10. Right now, as we're recording this podcast, it's at 7. You can get a guy that'll help your team more so, and you'll have him locked down for a much more friendlier contract. Now, of course, you got to bring on JR's contract and possibly Tristan Thompson's contract,
both of them,
which I'm not happy with. However, are you willing to give up that sacrifice to get that pick and go for the future? Because I don't think the Clippers go past the Warriors with DeAndre or Lou Williams.
Well, let's no, they're not. They would get mauled in 4 games. But I don't really think we're talking about Clippers, or maybe 5 games, Dave, because Dave made a face.
You're making faces over here.
But Jake, let's get back to the Cavs. This is more about the Cavs, and the one thing that you were very kind of set on is that the Cavs aren't beating the Warriors, whether they get George Hill, DeAndre Jordan, and Lou Williams. What makes you feel that way? And is there a player out there that you think could really change the tide and help the Cavs overcome the Warriors? Do you feel like it's the Warriors championship already?
I think it was kind of a possibility of them getting this guy a couple weeks ago, but now I don't think it is. I think Paul George is the only guy who could have made somewhat of a difference because he's such a two-way player. He can play great. He can guard their best player, and he can score 25, 20 points a game. But I don't think with the Thunder winning as of recently, I don't think he's getting traded. So I don't think that's a possibility anymore.
So looking at all the players that are out there, even if they throw that Brooklyn pick out there, I mean, there's not really that many players that they can move, at least the Cavaliers-wise, value-wise, to get a Paul George. But you think Paul George is the only player that can really move that needle?
Yeah, I think even with him, they don't beat him, though. I just
Wow.
This Warriors team, I don't think, I think it's almost impossible to beat this Warriors team in a 4-game series. Almost impossible.
Yeah.
Obviously, injuries can happen and all that kind of stuff, but I just if they're fully healthy, I don't see anybody beating them.
Do you guys agree with Jake saying that it's pretty much the Warriors championship already?
The only team that I would give a puncher's chance to is a fully healthy Rockets team, but I would still take Warriors.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm similar. Yeah. I still think the Cavs have a shot, though. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, though, Jake. Like, if it's one position that the Cavs need to push them over, are you thinking it's a wing? It's a defensive wing right now?
I mean, yeah. I think DeAndre could help. I think a big man could help, but I don't think a big man pushes them over the edge. I think they need because as of now, their backcourt defense. I don't trust Isaiah Thomas and I don't trust J.R. Smith to guard Curry or Clay.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't.
Because what are you going to do? You can't put Isaiah Thomas on Clay because Clay's 6'7". You can't put Isaiah on Curry because he's just going to get burnt. I just don't trust either of them.
So let's say the deal that they may end up making. We'll take the Lou Williams situation out just because of the Clippers thinking that they want him. Right now he's playing out of his mind. Cavs say they don't want to move the Brooklyn pick for Lou Williams, so Lou Williams goes off the table. The Cavs end up getting George Hill, and they end up getting DeAndre Jordan, and you start seeing a lineup of Isaiah Thomas, George Hill, LeBron James, K-Love, and DeAndre Jordan. Do you feel that starting five at least matches up decently against the Warriors starting five, Jake?
Oh yeah, decently. I think they definitely, obviously. I mean, if you look back at the last finals, if Game 3 goes a little bit different, who knows? Maybe we have a completely different series. But I think with that lineup, they probably could push them to 5 or 6. You never know. If things happen in the NBA, they could get them to 7.
Yeah,
but I would still pick the Warriors.
It's definitely going to be interesting too because I feel that at least talent wise, the Cavs have a deeper pool to pick from. I mean, you're going to be moving. Yeah. J.R. Smith, you're going to be moving Tristan Thompson, but it's not like these guys are helping you right now. And you still have, I think they're 5 off the bench last night against the Magic D. Wade, D. Rose, Kyle Korver, Jeff Green, and then I'm blanking on that. I think it was Tristan Thompson. So that was your starting 5 off the bench. That's better than some starting 5s in the current NBA right now. I mean, I'd probably take that over the Magic starting 5. With
the whole thing is. The whole thing is with me is they get George Hill. What happens to Derrick Rose? Does he play as many minutes or does he get cut?
Well,
cut down on minutes.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that you gotta be careful with D Rose bringing him back from injury because we know he's made of glass.
Yep.
But the thing that at least D Rose could bring is a ball handler off the bench. He's not bringing defense. No one really on this Cavs team is bringing defense right now.
In spots, I think both he and D Wade kind of have the same thing though, where like in clutch moments they definitely step up their defensive game. It's not for extended periods of time, and it's not for a whole season. But like I can give him 4 games of I could see D Rose being a 2-way player again.
But the thing that I'm saying, at least with the Cavs, is the part that I really like about their bench is that you're always going to have consistent scoring. You're still going to have the great shooting of Kyle Korver. You're still going to have the scoring ability of D Rose out there. D Wade is shown to be really decent in that 6-man spot at times. He's not playing defense, but he's 36 years old with 2 bum knees. Jeff Green's been really pretty decent. He's had a resurgent year so far, and Jeff Green finally showing some talent after 9 years of being in the league and just kind of always being the X factor in every single playoff series. So I think at least depth-wise, they have enough. The Cavs do, and comparing the benches because Chandra Iguodala, those two, the mixing of Livingston, Iguodala, they're starting to falter a little bit. They're getting older.
Yeah.
So I think the one thing is that. Right now, the Cavs look terrible, but when the Cavs were clicking, they looked really dangerous. I think I said even on this podcast probably 3 weeks ago, that's how much this Cavs team's really changed, that they have enough talent to beat the Warriors. It's just really, they don't have the starting 5 to beat the Warriors.
Well, and the thing that I'm going to add, 2 questions I'm going to ask is, first off, with they've got so much depth, how's that going to play in when we get to playoff minutes, when we get to a playoff style of how you're managing everyone? Because
you're typically not
in
going
a
10
regular
deep,
season, you might rest LeBron a little bit more. But in a playoff game, it's okay, you're going to get a couple minutes, and then we're throwing you right back out there. Then the second thing I'm thinking of, we're asking all these questions of, well, if they get this guy, how does it put them over the Warriors? Are we just slapping the Celtics right in the face? Like,
Yes.
like
Yep.
part of me feels also like, is the question what trades will also help them get over the Celtics?
Well,
I mean, it's the
do you
Celtics,
feel-
it's the Raptors.
They're already over
There's
the
a-
Celtics.
There's a lot of teams in the East that are hot right now. The problem is, what we're saying realistically is come playoff time in a series, this team has the talent to get them through.
Let's talk about that.
Do you remember what Tyronn Lue said?
What did Lou say?
He said, they asked you, are you worried? He goes, no, we have LeBron. That's all you need.
I think I've said that on the podcast. Ty Lue and I might be best friends.
Ty Lue knows that he has LeBron because LeBron's always stepping over him every day.
Yeah,
also
it
doing his
wouldn't be a
job.
Cavs Ty Lue segment if we didn't mention the step over. But Jake, I want to go to you because we had the Miami Heat discussion and Heat fans got their panties up in a bunch because I said Tyler Johnson wasn't consistent.
They're only a game back.
Oh, good Lord.
They're only a game
don't
back
drag
right
me
now
into this.
in
Don't drag
January.
me.
I'm not dragging you into this, but right now, Ricky brought up the question last week. What if the Cavs fall to the 4th spot? I call them a moron like I usually do. It's out of love, Ricky. I do love you. I don't think you're a moron. I'm just mean and I'm a dick.
I gotta post these questions. I gotta ask the hard questions.
And I'm gonna take a question right now. Are you worried about the Cavs in the Eastern Conference? Why or why not?
All right. Well, I had a Twitter rant about this a couple days ago. I would take LeBron at the 8th seed. I don't know when people are going to learn, it's 7 years in a row he has been to the finals. I don't care if he's the 8th seed, the 1 seed, the 7th seed, the 5 seed. Until he loses in the East, I'm going to pick him.
This is why he's my favorite patron. Because
Same here.
I said this on the podcast last week, and this is why he's my favorite person to talk to.
The thing I love, though, about this, and just to go off of what Jake said, is I agree with you, Jake. He could be the 8th seed and bring him to the finals. But this could be the year where every year we're like, oh, it could be the 8th seed. This could be the year it's the closest that we're going to put it to the test.
No, they're not going to call the 8th
No,
seed.
I'm
though.
not
2
saying
years
the
ago,
8th
it was
seed. I'm
2
saying
years
like,
ago, it was Kevin Love fit in or fit out.
Yeah.
I'm not worried.
even
Yeah,
if they
not.
like fall to the 4th seed, that's still drastically different from where they will be. This will be the closest to how low of a seed can LeBron drag them
The thing
through.
that I see on this team is this is the most talented team. Talented, not the most put together, most, at least cohesive team, but the most talented team LeBron has had in his Cleveland days. Definitely not in his NBA career, but in his Cleveland days, this is the most talented team that he has had around him. Looking at that bench, last night against the Orlando Magic, that was their bench 5 was D Wade, a former star and has been pretty decent in limited minutes this year. D Rose, a former MVP who was very hurt and it was his first game back, but still D Wade coming back. He's still last year 18 and 5, 6. D Wade's stat or D Rose's stat line off the top of your head.
Yeah, it was 18, 5, and 4.
Kyle Korver still shoots over 40% from 3. Most of that's due to LeBron hitting him when he's wide open, but Kyle Korver still one of the most deadliest 3-point shooters in the league right now. Jeff Green is great, just a great role player, really. I mean, he brings a lot of athleticism. He brings length. Evan Tristan Thompson, where, we really harp on him a lot because of his bad contract, but, teams with Tristan Thompson coming off your bench, that's a pretty decent
He's still a
bench
good
player.
energy big man. He can
outside of
still
his
run the
contract.
floor. Yeah.
So, I mean, talent-wise, this Cavs team, I'm not really worried about them in the Eastern Conference. Are you just, Ricky, are you just worried just because of the current standings and the way that the Cavs have looked recently, or do you feel like there's an actual way that the Celtics, Raptors, I'll throw the Heat in there just for the Heat fans, that they can actually upset the Cavs?
No. Then what I am saying is when it comes to seeding, I'm talking regular season.
Well, it's right now it's January.
Yeah, how they've played right now, though, I wouldn't be surprised if you told me right now Cavs are going to be 4th in the East. I'd be like, I don't find that surprising at all. Now, because they're 4th in the East, do I think they're going to get bounced in the first round by the Washington Wizards? No, get out of here. But the one thing I will say right now, and people can hold me to it, is if you are a Cleveland fan, you better hope that you don't lose to the Celtics. Because if you lose to the Celtics in the playoffs, 2nd round, 3rd round, wherever, LeBron's gone.
All right, Jake.
If you lose, he's gone.
You think if you lose
To the Celtics.
Okay, in the Celtics. So even if you lose to the Warriors, he's not for sure gone. But if you
No,
lose to the
but
Celtics,
if you
he's
lose
for
to
sure
the
gone.
Celtics, he's gone. He'll
Jake,
go to L.A.
You agree with that? Well, Jake's probably gonna say he's going to Philly.
Yeah, I'm saying L.A.
No, I think he's going to Houston, but I think he's going no matter what.
So you think he's gone no matter what, even if they win the finals?
As long as they don't. Okay, no. not winning the finals. But if they would win the finals, he'd probably have to stay. But when they lose, he's not coming back.
All right, that's a hot take right there. I want some more hot takes from you, Jake. I'm going to ask you before we end this segment. Make a prediction. After February 8th, the trade deadline, the Cavs will have added who?
Jesus Shuttlesworth. I think DeAndre will come. I think that'll be probably the only one.
And if they do add DeAndre, how far did they go against the Warriors? Because you're saying that they're going to win the Eastern Conference Finals.
Warriors in 5.
Warriors in 5. Damn. Dave, who are the Cavs going to be adding after February 8th? And if
Kemba Walker. No, I'm just talking. I mean, it could be. It's an outside wild card chance.
I mean, if they let's say
that's defensive backcourt.
We're talking about Kemba next segment. I mean, do you think there's a chance they get Kemba?
There's always a chance. I think they've got the ammo for it. They could do it, but I don't think it's going to be him.
Do you feel like getting Kemba changes this team then?
Yeah, actually, I like bringing in Kemba because it gives you another guy who can ball. It works into their game plan decently. I mean, it doesn't really help them in the long run against the Warriors is the problem. It makes your team better, but you're still not going to beat the Warriors.
Jake, were you grumbling when I mentioned Kemba Walker to the Cavs?
I heard that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you like about Kemba on the Cavs?
I'm more moans than ever Dave said that makes a difference.
I said it doesn't make a difference against the Warriors.
I thought you said it does. Okay,
no,
I thought you said it does. Never mind.
I mean, they could bring him in, but yeah, it's not going to help them win.
I was thinking of Isaiah Thomas and Kemba Walker starting against Clay and Curry.
Are you saying a 5'9" and a 6 foot flat guy, or maybe 6'1"?
Maybe 6'1".
Yeah.
You know what? Kemba was a shutdown player in the Big East Conference
UConn days,
championship.
baby.
Hey, we've seen that boy in some big playoff moments and those big tourney moments.
Bailed out by fucking Jay Lynn in the playoffs in his career, though. So I mean, like,
I'm talking NCAA. That boy did everything for that UConn team. They went 11 straight games, something like that. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ricky, after February 8th, who are the Cavs adding, and are they going to have a shot to overcome the Warriors?
I'm going to say they'll pursue DeAndre and Sweet Lou. They will not get it. They'll have to settle for George Hill, and they won't get to the finals. They'll lose to the Celtics in 6.
Here we go. All right.
I got to ask this one last question then. Is Gasol totally out the window? Like, if they pretty much shut down that rumor mill?
The thing with Gasol is you haven't heard anything about him for the past month. I haven't heard any trade rumors pop up. Right now, Mark Stein has only reported about DeAndre, George Hill, and then the deal that Lou Williams, that they have interest in Lou Williams, and there really hasn't been any movement on there. I think they end up adding Lou Will and DeAndre Jordan. I don't know for what price. They're probably going to have to give up that Brooklyn pick. I think it's going to be interesting the way they use that lineup then, because I don't think they're putting Sweet Lou in the starting 5. And that way you're going to have IT, D Wade. Yeah, that's great defense right there. IT, D Wade to play shooting guard.
Oh, yeah.
We got IT, D Wade, LeBron, K-Love, and DeAndre with D Rose and Lou Will coming off your bench. This is Super 2K, and that's why they're going to lose to the Warriors probably in 6. Because I'll give them 2 games just for having LeBron.
All right.
I feel like LeBron pissed off. I feel like it's going to be enough, and then that's going to be the reason why he drives out, because he's going to do as much as he can in 6 games to overcome the Warriors, and then it's just not going to be a cohesive team. And Ty Lue's probably going to get fired right after the game, and they're going to be like, oh, we'll make whatever changes you want, LeBron. And then I think I agree with Jake that he's going to end up in Houston. But Jake, we want to thank you for joining us.
One thing I want to add is with Memphis, they can't trade Gasol. They chose him over Fizdale.
They could still trade him.
I would be pissed if I was a Grizzly fan that we got rid of Fizdale.
You should be pissed for a ton of reasons being a Grizzlies fan.
Like Fizdale is Greg Popovich.
What's that?
I said he's acting like Fizdale's Greg Popovich.
Thank you.
Hey, he could have been.
He gets too much respect.
He's a quality coach.
Yeah, I forget Brett Brown could be Greg Popovich too.
Came from the tree. Apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. But Jake, you got any final thoughts before we end the segment?
Cavs are screwed.
Well, you're great as always, Jake. We'll be talking to you soon, hopefully either next week or the week after that. Hopefully we'll be talking about some positive 76ers news. Maybe, Ben Simmons goes off for like 40 points and starts hitting threes.
Maybe Fultz can be seen in front of a camera taking a shot.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
As long as it's not about football, we're good.
Or Joel finds his next Rihanna.
Yeah, is there a lot of tension between you and Ricky after that game on Sunday between the Saints and Vikings?
All right, end this podcast.
Jake,
I have not brought it up once.
You did not. I did. Jake, we want to thank you as always. You rock, bud, and thanks for being a patron.